Hello, welcome to this week's edition of WCS Sports Connection. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Qualls, and with me, as always, is our resident athletic know-it-all. I don't know what else to say.
I like that.
You've got it all. You've got all the answers. And I know a lot of people watch this show that think they know it all, but I'm telling you, you know it all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well,
Makes me feel better.
Let's talk about real quick, before we get into baseball and softball and all the spring sports. We got WILLCO's coming up May 30th. Obviously, man, the countdown is on. The finalists have been named. We did it in a show prior to this one. Love that night. We had some, once you start looking at that finalist list, there are some really strong people in there.
Oh, yeah. Some tough categories and strong athletes, both male and female, strong teams of the year, coach of the year. It's going to be fun, man. I'm really excited.
Year 5.
Year 5.
Stand out. What's something that stands out for you?
Well, that first year, I think when we were it was at the Franklin Theater, I thought that was very cool. Nobody really knew what to expect. I think everybody was pleasantly surprised. I had no idea it was like that. I think that one stood out really well. The Hunter Garston Courage Award a couple years ago. Wow, that was really neat. A lot of them. The first red carpet, I thought that was very cool. And then again next year. But seeing everybody come up. I mean, Vince Neal walking up the. In 1 year we had Vince Neal, John Robinson, and Philip Fulmer all walking up the red carpet. I tell you one I loved is T.J. Sheffield didn't know who Coach Fulmer was. You remember that?
And he was also committed to UT at the time.
Right,
now think about that. He's like, I'm not sure who that is.
Not Coach Fulmer. He's the best at that, but. That's a life lesson, and don't take yourself too serious, man.
That's a good point.
A lot of things can change over time. So, I thought all of them were neat. I still love seeing every year, and I'm not just saying this. I thought you're going to think I'm taking a shot. I'm not. I was glad you took over the hosting last year. I thought it was much better. Nothing against Hope, but you know them all. Nobody knows them all. Quite like you do, and so I thought that was good. I've loved it all, man.
Well, in my time, you go back to that year 1, I took, at that time, one of the worst cussings, if you will, negative emails, if you will, at that time. I've since have surpassed that.
More?
Yeah, about not be able to get in, just not having a ticket. I didn't realize at that time, excuse me, that this thing would grow into what it is now. I mean, we started with 274 people. And now it's over 1,100 that come to this thing. Now,
yeah.
Those that do not know, when we do this voting process, we have the largest voting body we've ever had in the 5 years that we've done it.
Yep.
We had over 50 voters this time in that preliminary rounds where what happens is all the athletic directors and coaches nominate their athletes. We have a big giant list, and we have to pare that list down to whoever the top, 3 or 4 people are. And there's several rounds of voting to get to where we are now and get to that final ballot for those getting in. And I think the overarching message is when you get into the building, when you get a golden ticket, this is the thing that I keep saying. And my favorite part of the whole process is going and actually hand delivering those tickets. I just enjoy that, seeing their faces. Year 1, year 2, they're like, what is this? Don't know. Year 5, I show up, they have a smile on their face. They're very thankful. It's a really cool deal. But anyway, when you get that ticket, I try to express to them 10,000 student athletes, 6th grade through 12th grade. 5,200 at the high school level. You're going to be one of about 75 that's going to be in that room. And not only that, if you're on this list at the WILLCOs, there's a great chance that you're on other lists, maybe the All-State team, whatever that case may be. I know there's going to be some other award shows that happen, but you're on the WILLCOs and you got a golden ticket. And I would put our event up against anybody's.
Well, we've had people tell us that have been at both, the past couple of years, and no shot at theirs.
It's not. We're not competing with them. I'm just saying the people that are on this list are going to be on other lists. There's not it's almost like a feather in the cap, if you will. It's one of those things that it's a great moment. It's not just anybody. If you got there, you earned the right to get there through the voting process by the voting members, which are media, head coaches, and athletic directors, all the way up into that final voting. So I mean, it's the cream of the crop. It's the who's who.
Yeah, and over double-figure different media outlets all vote on it now too, and so it's been neat to watch it. Grow, right? The amount of people that grow, and you're right, the participation in it. They're all participating in it, and It is. It's a heck of an honor. But, you know, I think sometimes we get wrapped up in things, you know, just like my soapbox of, you know, I watch it every weekend watching 7th grade basketball. You know, we can get a little too wrapped up in it. I saw the Wolfman tweeted a tweet the other day about helicopter parenting.
That's right.
It can be too much. Hey, man, like you said, to be nominated is a heck of an honor. Let's not get too bent out of shape if we don't win. Because if you're there, you're one of the nominated, then you're one of the, like you said, one of the best of the best.
There's 5,130 other people that wish they would have got
That's right, without a doubt.
Holly Harris, University of Alabama, Huntsville, had a really good year this past season as a freshman. Mm-hmm. She is, you know, obviously last year was a basketball finalist on the girls'
Correct.
side. They had a similar event that Ann Harris was telling me about, and she asked Holly, well, you know, does it compare to the Wilcos? And Holly said it wasn't even close.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, at the university level, this is an opportunity for these kids to see something that they probably won't see otherwise, and it's a fun night. Speaking of those football guys that are going to be nominated, obviously Ravenwood football team's up for Team of the Year. I want to talk about Destination U right now on the high school side in the WCS Sports Conference. Ravenwood right now has Power 5 schools camped out. Yeah. Offers are coming as fast as they can come, like you're shuffling a deck of cards. Les Miles and company, Kansas has been in the house, offered 3 or 4 of their guys. Junior Colson being one of those, Graham Barton, Brian Rice, all these guys are coming. Yeah, Slinoff. They're coming through getting these offers. It only takes one for that dam to break, and then the offers start flying in. We got Arkansas coming in with offers. They've been around. Junior Colson got one of those this weekend. Mm-hmm. You've got Fisher Anderson.
That was big.
That was big. First, you know, could he be the first non-special team player to get an offer and follow through and sign on the dotted line for the Big Orange?
I hope so. I mean, that would be. They've said they want to make Middle Tennessee more of a focal point, and
they need to.
If you're going to do that, there's really there's 3 places you go. You go to Rutherford, here, and then the privates, right?
Sure.
So, yeah. I mean, you know, it'll get back to it, but you know, I mean, we're all the same. Not everybody, but if you grew up here your whole life, odds are you grew up wanting to go play in Knoxville and in Neyland and wear the orange. So I would think so, yeah, that's big. Hey, speaking of that, this is off, but I saw film the other day of Franklin in spring practice. Let me tell you something, boys. Their offensive line is huge.
Oh, yeah.
And huge in a good way. Huge, athletic looking. You know, I'm excited to watch that offensive line come next fall.
Well, speaking of 2 former Wilco guys, Wilco finalist winners, football players. Emmanuel Hall, Tyrell Dotson, the draft process is over. Emmanuel Hall goes to Chicago Bears on unrestricted free agency, as well as Tyrell goes to the Buffalo Bills. It'll be interesting to see how this camp goes for those guys, and you know, their careers progress throughout this. I don't know. I try to figure out what kind of level is that. Is that a minimum contract usually on those unrestricted free agency, or if they go into camp and impress, can they barter for more? I don't know how that works, but both these guys will be on a roster, I'm assuming, come late fall. It'll be interesting to watch those guys. Track, grade 8. What do we know about this particular event? It's a great track meet that happens every year.
Grade 8, love it. It's one of my favorite track meets of the year. It's what it is, the grade 8. So they have one heat in every event. They take the top 8 times or performances in each event in the Middle Tennessee area, and they bring them all in, and they go over to Vanderbilt and they run. It's D2, it's D1, it's single A. It's true. It doesn't matter.
It's good, yeah.
Best of the best, at least in the mid-state, and it's at Vanderbilt in a nice facility, and it's fun, man. A really good event, and as usual, we did really, really well. We had one 2-event winner out of the WCS Sports Conference. Would you dare to take a guess who that is?
Male or female?
Well, that gives it away. But
Avery McMullen.
Avery McMullen.
Centennial. And guess what she is?
A Wilco finalist.
A Wilco finalist.
Yeah. Colorado, right? She's going to
Colorado, that is correct.
She won the 100, 14.66 100 meters. Can you run the 60 in 14.66?
I bet I can beat you.
Well, we might have to have a fundraiser on that. And then she won the long jump. I know you can beat me in the long jump. 18 feet, 10 inches.
That's really good for
serious.
A female. That's really good for a female.
Yeah. Yep. Let's look at something real quick. Long jump. Well, Walker Merrill getting a
Brentwood.
lot of offers.
Right.
Was 7th, and he had a 20'9". So he's coming. By the way, I saw where he got a Penn State the other day. But
Sure did.
Avery had a great performance, and then I saw an interview her online. She wasn't real happy with her time in the 100. Now, she won the thing. And again, remember who we're running against.
I think he had a little bit of a headwind, like a 2.5 headwind, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, so that was big. Solathis Johnson on the boys' side won the 400 with a 48.90. That's moving. Did I say Franklin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Franklin. Gabriel Robinson, Ravenwood, won 53.33 in the 800. And then this is something I thought was pretty cool. You seen Pearl Cohn's 4x1 run?
I'm sure they're strong.
It's real deal.
Yeah.
Holyfield.
Yeah.
Brentwood, runner-up in the 4x1 in both boys and girls. Coach Brock's doing a great job out there. That's scary because here's the deal. All those state championships they won, they'd middle distance,
That's
long
right.
distance you, and field event you to death.
And just let the sprints go.
And let the sprints go. Now they're competitive.
Do you know who makes up that 4x1 team? Would you like to know? How many of those kids are dual sport athletes?
Well, I know 2 of them are.
Well, you got Walker Merrill.
Yep.
I think he's the anchor.
Williams is in it.
Avery Williams.
Yep.
And I'm not for certain the other 2, but I was just mentioning the point that those 2 football players are on the team.
Dual athletes. That's right. Yeah. So that was really good. They really did well. I tell you another thing too. Shot put. You want to talk about a strong shot put? Skylar Coffey got 3rd. See, we forget about that. We talk about him being a wrestler. He's a dual sport athlete.
That's right.
And if he wanted to play football, I think he could help that football team out as well.
You think? What's he up for?
Well, he's up for athlete of the year and wrestler of the
Right.
year.
This young man, when you deliver that gold ticket, you're like, I mean, it really, you want to stop and go, this kid's a high school athlete.
I know.
This dude
Can you imagine having to walk out on that mat?
He is a dude.
Yeah, he's
I guarantee
He's
you,
a junior.
I promise you, when he walks out on the mat, and it's not all physical, there is an aspect that is mental to that. I guarantee it, every match he walked on onto the mat, he already had them beating their head.
Yeah.
I mean, this man, he's a dude.
He is, no
I
doubt.
told Jackson Clevenger when we delivered that golden ticket to get ready that we're probably going to have that match on stage at the WILLCO's.
That'd be unbelievable. You could charge admission to that. That'd be
Yeah.
good.
Did you know they sparred together?
No, I did not.
Mm-hmm. I thought that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is.
Jackson Clevenger, for those that don't know, Fairview, 2 year in a row,
Two-time
state
state
champion, 285. Coffee will be giving up a little bit of weight. but,
Holy cow, yeah.
Yeah, he's 285. So
Hard to move those guys around.
that's right.
Well, and went out to the Nationals and finished, top 8. I know that. So it's going to be very, very neat. But the shot put was a great event. The Gore youngster from Broad Academy got it. Elijah Simmons, Pearl Cone. Those that watched the draft and the whole buzz about J.J. Watt was like, can we draft number 72? That's Elijah Simmons, okay? He's a 2-time state champion. After that, we had Skylar Coffey and then Gabriel Slenoff were both there in the top 5. Slenoff turned around and got runner-up in the discus. So it's going to be fun. Very well represented.
Well, on the baseball side, we got a District 11 AAA. Man, this thing is heating up on the district tournament side. Let's try to walk through some of this, Tate. Let people know it's a double elimination tournament. The rain has kind
Do
of
you like that?
the double elimination.
Yes. Seems like this tournament goes on a long time.
It is. It's standard fare, though. I mean, any tournament you go to is always double elimination in baseball, softball. Don't know what that is. Don't know the history about it. You know, softball's the same way. I don't know that I like. I think I'm indifferent. I don't know why it's this sport and any other sport. Yeah. I think because you play the multi-game series, you got multi arms
Right.
that can throw. So maybe it gives you a look. Maybe so. It's a marathon, though. That is for certain. You're going to have to be able to run that thing, navigate it, and if you get beat, come out of that loser bracket, then beat the winning team obviously twice to do it, which is not easy to do. If you go back to Coach Kirby and Summit, you remember they faced off with Siegel that year in the Final Four, had to come out of the loser bracket and beat them twice. Then you really have to be strategic about who throws and when, and then you can't make assumptions because assumptions, there is no tomorrow.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a little bit of strategy involved in it. But when you look at this, as it opens up, this was the final standings in a District 11 AAA. The 1 seed Summit, 2 seed Brentwood, 3 seed Franklin, 4 seed Independence, 5 Ravenwood, 6 Dixon County, 7 Centennial, and then the playing game in the 8-9 playing game was Spring Hill and Page. Spring Hill wins that game 7-1, sending Page home. So then you've got Spring Hill going into that 8-9 versus 1 game, and Summit wins that game 1-0.
That's scary.
Well,
no, I mean they won, but what I'm saying is
No,
that,
I mean, you got your
they finished 12-1 in the regular season, and here they are. They're eking out a 1-0 game. Now they played really well on defensive pitching, but this is a tough tournament.
Spring Hill is 2 years removed away from the state championship, or one?
If they weren't state champs, they were state runner-up.
That's
They
what I
went
thought.
like 5-6
Yeah.
years in a row. Yeah.
On the AA level, but
Correct.
they bump up AAA. And I mean, they have the guys. So Summit advances to 1-0. It drops Spring Hill down the loser bracket. In the second game, in the 4-5 game, Independence Ravenwood. Indy wins this game 6-5.
Well, Indy, you know, they've got Robert Hassel, I believe, the player of the year, and so that's what's scary. They're sitting there at fourth, but depending on the matchup, depending on the day, they can beat anybody. And and in Ravenwood, you know, good thing it was a double elimination tournament, which I know you're going to get to in a second, but. So they can battle back through, but yeah, I mean they're all going to be like that. But that was a big win for Indy. Speaking of Hassel, I believe he got 11 AAA Player of the Year. Is that a foreshadowing of the WILLCOs?
Man, one has to think so, but McIlvain has such a great resume to argue against it, and so does Zane Denton too. I mean, let's not act like he's rubbish. I mean,
no,
this is, to me, this category stands out more than any of them.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think this was a strong
Wrestler
category.
of the Year.
Well, you've
Pretty
got two
strong.
state champions in there.
Yeah, one of them's a two-time.
But you've got two Vanderbilt signees and an Alabama signee on this group. So I mean, it's how you look at it. But I think foreshadowing.
That's what makes it fun.
I think that yes, there's a good case that this could hold true.
Yep.
But I think McIlvain has an unbelievable resume to argue against. In the 3-6 game, Franklin-Dixon. Dixon wins this game 4-3. What happened in this game?
You know, just I hate it too, man, because what a great year for Franklin, and I was so happy that you know they finished where they did, but you know just the wrong night to not play well, right? You know, and Dixon's so many of these games have all been splits. You know, when you talk to them, you look at Brentwood, you look at everybody pretty much at Summit. All these series were splits during the regular season, and so I think that's what's happened. Is the tournament is holding true to form. Any one of them can beat either one of them, and that's what happened. Dixon that was their night. I guarantee if you played again the next night, Franklin would have got that one. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, then it happened to be a first-round match, so that drops Franklin into the loser bracket. We'll get to that in just a moment. In the 2-7 game, Brentwood versus Centennial. Brentwood wins this 8-2, dropping Centennial into the loser bracket. When you go down into the loser bracket, Spring Hill, Ravenwood, back against the wall. Loser goes home. Ravenwood squeaks one out 4-3 to advance.
Ben Severance with a walk-off to.
I mean, think about that.
That was big.
Spring Hill had to have their back against the wall in a play-in game, and here they are, you know, having an opportunity. But Spring Hill has been eliminated from the 11 AAA tournament. On the other side of that loser bracket, you have the Battle of Franklin-Centennial. Centennial eliminates Franklin from competition play this year 7-1. I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
No, but I think Coach Boffman did. He's pretty confident in his team right now, and he thinks he can play with any of them, and they're playing well tournament time right now. So they've got so many of them. They can score runs. You know, I don't know that they've got the arms that some of the others have, but they feel like they can score runs, and that's what they did.
On the 12AA side, Coach Zach Hudson goes in, and I love this about Zach. Nolensville baseball, #1 seed in 12AA, automatic bid into the region, face Forest in the opening round coming up this week. He's coming in with a record. Do you know what his overall record is?
Around 500.
Like 13-12.
Right.
People are like, oh, well, they're just.
No,
that must
they'll be in
a-
Murfreesboro.
Do people not understand what his off-district record was and
Probably
who he
not.
played?
Probably not.
Brentwood, Summit, Centennial. Played them all.
Yep.
And I think that will definitely pay dividends down the road. They will not face SEC arms coming down the stretch. You may face a SEC arm, but not multiple.
Not several.
Right, across a series of games. So best of luck to them. Fairview baseball lost to Camden 6-0 in the opening round. Beat Waverly, came back to beat Waverly 5-3. Back against the wall this week, playing Camden one more time in an elimination game. If they could get their bats hot like they have been here lately. They had a walk-off grand slam not too long ago. They're playing better for Coach putting them out there at Fairview. Best of luck to them in 11AA. Let's do predictions real quick before we go to softball. Summit, Indy, who's moving on in that winner's bracket?
Summit.
Summit, I would agree with that. Dixon, Brentwood.
Brentwood.
I think so too. So you're thinking that the tournament up to this point will hold chalk all the way up with the higher seeds, the 1 and 2 playing each other in the to get into the semis. You drop down right here, Independence, Ravenwood, loser goes home.
Indy
squeaks it out, gets back. Then the other game will be Dixon Centennial. Does Coach Boffman in the hot Cougars keep rolling?
I think so.
So now you got Centennial, Indy in the elimination round.
Centennial. They're hot. Hot bats.
I'm going to go with the 11 AAA Player of the Year of Independence Eagles moving on in that game. Who wins the Summit Brentwood game? First go.
Man, history says not the regular season. And normally I think I'm going to go with Brentwood because Brentwood's really good. I can't imagine them not being in
Pump the brakes
this
on
thing.
that.
You going with Summit?
We've got 3 arms, and at this point in time, if I do my math right, with plenty of days rest,
Summit's already in.
one of those 3, but you've got a point to prove, and I think Coach Kirby wants to win this thing outright. It is, hey, we don't want to play complacency and say we're already in. We want to win this thing. I think Summit wins that game behind the 3 arms, so that drops Brentwood down. Now you got Brentwood, Indy for elimination.
Brentwood.
So you think Brentwood, Summit in the championship game, can Brentwood beat them twice? Of course, now you're going by my hypotheticals.
That's your pick.
That's my pick, right? So Summit, Brentwood.
No.
Are we going to agree? Are we going to agree that Summit and Brentwood's going to be playing for the championship?
I think so.
Who wins the championship? 11 AAA.
It will. If it goes your way, then I think that I think Brentwood does. But because Brentwood already beat them once. I don't think Brentwood beats them twice.
So in your pick,
It's flipped. Summit has to battle.
So who's going to be the champion? Brentwood? Is that who you're saying? You think Brentwood goes?
Well, they both go.
wins.
Yes. Brentwood wins. I'm telling you, and talking to those guys,
Can we muddy that
nobody
up?
really wants Overton coming. So you might be right.
just telling you.
Summit, they're in, but they want to win because that's what they do in their competitors. But also, you really don't want Overton coming to you. I mean, you really don't want to go to Overton in the regional because they're legit this year, and they got a real coach. Mike Morrison's a good coach.
Are you making an insinuation that the coach before was not a real coach?
At Overton? Well, he's been there so long.
I'm just kidding.
But what I'm saying is usually we walk through that regional, right?
Does the Green Wave of Gallatin have a real coach at baseball?
Oh yeah, they got a great baseball coach. I don't know, the church league softball coach, maybe not, but no, they got a real coach. They're
He's
good.
dropping dimes out there, man. All right, listen,
Qualls
softball.
quarters.
Softball. Independence. Now talk about Coach Buck. I mean, think about what's happened here. And I want to talk about, I'm going to leave
Shouldn't be a surprise.
Jenny Stevenson.
Unbelievable
Job. Both of these programs, let's just be honest.
We're not very good.
Not very good, irrelevant, bottom of the pile. Now they're going in 1 and 2. Both have an 11-1 record.
Right. So don't misunderstand that. Yes, Independence has the #1 seed, but they were co-champions.
That's correct.
In the regular season. They just won the coin flip. And 5 years ago, if we had said Summit and Indy, or 3 years ago, Summit and Indy, Independence are going to be co-District 11 AAA champions, you'd probably laugh.
It's pretty much, I think, anybody could win. We've got some people that are playing better and getting hot bats. But it's a 3-dog race right now between those two and Brentwood. Brentwood, 2 losses, obviously come to the top 2 seeded people.
Yeah.
Coach Powell just keeps on doing her thing, man. They keep, there's stability there in that program. She's built a nice culture. Right. Her love for the game, her love for the kids are infectious. Kids won't play hard for her.
Yeah.
Coach Buchanan's doing the same way. Coach Stevenson now getting over the hump and getting in this thing. So, I mean, Caitlin Woodside, it goes to show you what kind of year they've had. Things are going on for them. Franklin 6-5, sitting right here at 4. Can Franklin play spoiler in this thing?
Coach Buchanan thinks they can. He thinks it's a 4-horse race. He thinks that they're right there. Their record isn't quite what the others are.
I meant to say a 3-race horse race. According to chalk. So
correct. That's right. That's right. Yeah. No. He thinks they're very worrisome. So and it's neat. This tournament's a little bit different. I think it's going to be really exciting because. Let's be honest. The last 2 years, Hannah Koenig was by far the most dominant player.
Mowed them down.
Yeah, as long as she was on the field.
And had a great year for you, Louisiana Tech, too.
Without a doubt. She was a great player. Not a good player, a great player. So you take somebody like that off the mound in softball, Brentwood, like I said, until somebody beats them, I think they got to be the favorite. But it's more open, and then it's allowed, with her being gone, Elena Escobar, the pitcher for Independence, she's legit now, and so I think Coach Buck is very confident with her going into it. She's sitting there at 10-4, and then another WILLCO finalist, McKinley Webb.
So you got McKinley Webb.
She's good.
Taylor Limperville.
Yep.
You've also got names that come to mind when we start talking about these players. And then obviously Summit's player, Caitlin Woodside, it's going to Lipscomb.
That's right.
Being a top player in this conversation. Interesting note, first baseman for Brentwood, Coach LaViolette's daughter.
Yes.
And, it's some interesting storylines. All right, let's get to it.
Hey, but real quick, you're right, because we got off on the Indy. Summit, what Coach Stevenson's done. Don't be surprised if they win this. That team is, that's another one. It's a lot like what Coach Powell did coming in Brentwood. Different, but she brought some excitement, and it's a program. You know what I'm saying? And
it's interesting to note too.
She's running that thing like one.
You look at in contrast, Dixon's 5-5. They're sitting in 5th place right now. Coach Buchanan came from Dixon, won a couple state championships. They stayed up, and every time, all the time he was there, they were a force to be reckoned with. They won this league after, year after year after year. Now they're down at 5th, and guess who's at 1st? Independence. And that doesn't happen by luck and chance. Page in 6th place, Spring Hill 7th, Ravenwood 8th, Centennial 9th. So let's talk about it real quick on the District 11 AAA softball tournament starting this week. Independence, Centennial, Ravenwood have that playing game, and I believe at this time that game was played.
Yeah, I think, did Centennial win?
They did win.
I think, yeah, they did.
On a
That's
late,
right.
dramatic walk-off or something other for them to advance. Centennial, Independence, do you have anything there? You think Independence?
I think it's going to be very hard for Centennial to beat them.
Franklin versus Dixon County in that 4-5 game.
I think Franklin gets the win.
Brentwood, Page, 3-6 matchup.
Brentwood.
And then the Summit, Spring Hill matchup.
Summit.
So then you're looking at second round, Summit, Brentwood.
Man.
It's a tough one. I'll come back to it. Franklin, Indy.
I think that's a tough one too, but Indy. I think Escobar.
So who are the two teams that are going to be advancing to the finals? Because when you have this double elimination, there's too many hypotheticals.
I think the way they're playing now, I didn't think this 2 weeks ago, but I think it's Independence Summit. I think they're in the finals.
Independence Summit. So you think it's going to go chalk, the tournament all the way?
Lower Southern WILLCO final.
The $1 million question is, who will have to win twice?
Summit.
You think Summit will?
Yeah, they got to go through.
Think Summit will come out of the okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Who you
that's
got?
Interesting. I'm going to go with Independence.
And I know we'll talk about this next week. But
I'm kind of with you on the Erica Powell deal. Until somebody beats them, they've got more people that have been there. I'm really torn between Brentwood.
Those girls
and
know
Indy.
how to win.
I think so.
They've been there, man.
I think Brentwood and Indy will be the two there. Unfortunately, I don't want to jinx Jenny Stevenson, but we got to go.
Hey, real quick, all these great performances, nobody is dominating like Brentwood boys soccer is right now.
Oh my goodness. It's
They're
something.
rolling.
We'll
Coach
talk about it
P's
next
gotta
time.
roll.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.